Welcome back. We wanted to continue our discussion with our guest, Beverly Hutchison, Executive Director of the D. Norton Child Advocacy Center during National Prevent Human Trafficking Month, to talk more about preventing potential exploitation of our youth by creating a safe community. And this is a topic I think that we can just talk ad nauseum about, because there are so many ways in which children are being sucked into the life, into very compromising places. But, you know, it starts at home, but then what about everybody else who is on the periphery?
So we're talking about prevention. What can we as a community do to prevent? I think the very first thing is arm yourself with knowledge of what commercial sexual exploitation of children is and what it looks like, because it can take many forms, you know, from the traditional a child underage being pimped out, if you will, to a teen themselves posting pictures, content on the internet for sale. So wide range of what it can look like, and just acquiring knowledge, I think, is the very first step. Then, if you're a parent with your children, if you're an adult who has, nieces, nephews, if you're in a position where you interact with children, where it's appropriate to have conversations, to really make sure that one of the greatest ways to reduce risk is for children to have strong connections to adult, to family. So where you can, to be that believing, protective adult. And that means establishing open communications about all topics.
Right.
So if they do find themselves in a situation where they're approached or made uncomfortable, they'll come to you first.
Can we talk about also leading by example? Because, you know, personally in the position that I'm in, I can't remember myself ever posting anything of myself that was racy or anything like that, you know, and to each his own. But I feel like it is incumbent upon myself to be an example for other young women. But when you have people who are surrounding children that are kind of doing their thing as adults, they've got a right to do it.
Right.
But what about setting the example? You know, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it.
Right.
And now social media is just another arm in which children can go down that path and exploit themselves, not unknowingly.
Right. Modeling behavior is absolutely part of what an adult can do. Making sure that if they're using social media, that their content is appropriate, because you know, this is really in regards to any online presence. And one of the things we talk about at D. Norton when we're talking to youth about caution and the internet is, and how to guide parents is, as a parent, as a caregiver of a youth or a child, you should know where your child is at all times, right? Who are they interacting with, and who are their environment physically, but also online. Take that same principle and apply it to their online presence. You know, you want to talk to children about, you know, the person they are when they're interacting with their friends should look like that same person on the internet. Right. And so when we model that behavior, if we're true to ourselves in our personal interactions with children, and then they see that same person reflected in images on their social media, that's a great role model. Yeah, because
our alter ego can live online, right? So we can all walk down the street, we can all look normal and well put together, but as soon as we enter the online space, all the rules go out the window. And it's so easy for people to happen upon those images, and kids like to model what they see in others.
Right.
And we were talking about earlier just how important social media is to young kids, and so now we're kind of eliminating the middleman, and it's just going direct from the child to the consumer.
Right.
So just also having those controls on kids,
it's really
technology that they have in their hands.
It's really important, because our children have such access to all sorts of apps, all sorts of platforms, all sorts of places for them to be present. And I'm going to back it up to that communication. It all starts there. So when your child starts using social media, when y'all introduce these devices where they have access as adults, begin to talk about the rules at every age level, and have those conversations progress with your child's age.
Yeah.
You know, as they get older, you really want to have those conversations about how they might be approached by perpetrators online, what to do if they're uncomfortable with anybody approaching them in person or online. Where do they go? Who do they talk to?
And those images last forever.
Right.
They don't go anywhere.
Right.
Once it's out, you can't unring a bell.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Beverly.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We're back after this.